Yo, what's up, everybody? Ted here with some buys of Wix. And, well, you know. Anyways, I was just going through a quick video tonight. And you haven't even been able to see me because I haven't hit transition yet. There we go. Now we're working. Yeah, let's just take a look. I mean, like, Jesus. All right, let's just go straight to it. That just isn't crazy. Let me get myself off of here first. There we go. And then, yes, I'm using the app, and this is the 5-minute chart. Okay, so this is what I was working with all last night. If you watch my video from last night, you know that I was predicting price up through here and it going back and forth, and then of course it drops right into that fair value gap that I was talking about, and that's all. I mean, it came through and it cleared the fair value gap, you know, overnight, and then actually no, this is yesterday during the day, because it was up in here is where I started talking about it. But then it came down right here, 7 o'clock in the morning. That would have been the perfect time. I mean, especially if I'd have woke up at that time. But it's Labor Day, you know. I have plans. People got things to do. So it didn't necessarily work out, that's for sure. 1 second. I am having some issues here. Okay, there we go. I honestly couldn't hear myself, and I was trying to figure out what was wrong with it. But okay, so we have, I mean, it went from 143, now we're at 172. That's just absolute insanity, and it makes me want to ape in, but I know that's the dumbest thing ever. Right now, it's going to have to go sideways. It's going to have to make a pullback. It's going to have to do something. It can't just keep going up. Because, one, it hit the 127. It could keep going up until 150 before it starts. I might have the 150 laid out. Hold on. Where is the 150? I don't know, it's usually in all my charts. I only use the 20 and the 30 at the end of the week. Nobody really cares about 5 right now. Well, why did I take it out? So then we will use this and -1.5. Yeah, there it is. And of course, YouTube always says it's not maintaining my stream. Well, I put it at 750 kbps. You want me to, so shut up, YouTube. But yeah, if I'm on a 5-minute chart right now, and I should probably put it on like an hour or something, to be honest, just so I can show you where. And I know it looks like a bunch of crazy colors and you don't know what's going on, because I was measuring every little bit of every little candle, you know, in case it went halfway through, you know, fair value gap, or if it went halfway through an order block, or you can see here's the fair value gap, 5-minute. CE means basically halfway through. That's what I call it. Median bullish. You know, we had some breakers up here. And that's what I'd love to play in. It was these breakers that it kept trying, and there was 3 of them that were overlapping each other, and it was playing with each other with 5-minute chart anyway, and going back and forth between each breaker, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I wanted so hard to put, you know, some money on it, at least for a future trade, you know, just a trade. And I own the coins, of course, but as a trader, I wanted to, but then again, my stop loss would have probably been, no, I don't know if I probably would have made it below the fair value gap for sure. But man, that was crazy. And now I'm looking at it up here, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, so what's next? So what's next for Solana? That's what we're all gonna wonder, right? And we're on the 1 hour. Let's take a look at the 4 hour and see what happens. Actually, let's get rid of some of this crap that's on here because it's no longer relevant at all. Well, that actually may have been relevant. Hold on. And so I'm going to take that and I am going to lock it. Alright. I'm just trying to see if it'll let me erase as many lines as possible. There we go. Alright, and these fair value gaps aren't going to matter anymore. These breakers aren't going to matter anymore. We've been through all this. There we go. And that one too. No, why? No, because I hit the wrong button. Don't hit the wrong button, people. Just don't hit the wrong button. Alright. So that was it. It was that 5-minute fair value gap. I knew it was gonna have something to do with that. Actually, and possibly this order block. So if you see an order block is going to be your last down candle before an explosive up candle, basically. Doesn't always have to be an explosive up candle, but if it isn't an explosive up candle, the higher chances you are going to see whenever price returns to that candle, that down candle, the bearish candle, more than likely prices are going to explode away from it. And it's right here. And it needs to go this way. There we go. Alright, and let's set the coordinates. Looks like it was 137.50. So that's what I came down to last night. And I need to get rid of that. Poked right through the 5-minute fair value gap. Hit the bearish order block. Boom, came up. Made it look like this was going to be a resistance point, of course. That's what it always does. It always makes everything look like a resistance point. And then, boom, falls a little bit. Makes everybody try to sell with it at this. Actually, I want to get a little bit closer to see what that 15-minute looks like on that. Yeah, it's alright. It just falls. It's trying to get everybody to sell with it. Okay, because it didn't break this high, didn't break this high, so it's like, oh, it's just gonna keep going down. It looks like it got lucky on one run up, and then boom, gone out of the park. So if we 4 hour it, I put a median there somewhere for some reason. It must be the 1 hour. Oh, okay, yeah. It is. 1 hour, this must be a 15-minute fair value gap. I've already done some things to it. Oh, no, now I know what that is. Okay, so that is going to be, actually, I think it's 5-minute. Yeah, so that is your 5-minute breaker. So your median of the, I think of the hour, and the top of the 5-minute breaker both almost overlap with each other. So I have a feeling this is going to come back, and this is going to be the spot that it's going to hit and probably take off again. Okay, so, and if you're wondering what a breaker is, right, you have a low, high, low situation. Alright, so here's the low. This candle's the high. I've already got the yellow over. Pull it out there. There it is. And then a low. Alright, low, high, low. And then you have the price that ran right through that. Whenever it runs right through that, expect it to return back to that as if this was the support, and that will be support, or at least this whole area will be support. Sometimes it gets sneaky and it'll get down to the bottom of this and then take off. And the good thing about that is that there's also a bullish order block at the bottom of that as well. So, and look what it's doing. I like what it's doing because it's creating two very, very similar, very, very close tops. So traders that look at this, they're going to see those two tops and they're going to think that is also resistance. I looked at, and what I see, draw a line here, boom, next, liquidity is what I see. What do I mean by liquidity? I mean market orders or limit orders or anything that has to do with people wanting to sell at this area. People are still going to put sell limits, right in this area. People are going to put buy limits, going to try to catch. See, this is why I think this time of night is going to be a little bit different. People are going to try to catch a breakout because that's what Solana's been doing. It's just been breaking out all the time. Even before, it got into that little consolidation that we just had. It got to this high, and if you actually put a fib on it the way it should be, at the top here, right? So that was basically the bullish order block. Put the fib at the top of the bullish order block here, and rises to the top, comes back down, enters the fair value gap. The fair value gap is right in between the 79% and the 88.6%, and it just takes off. Well, it doesn't just take off, but it takes a moment, and then it goes parabolic. So, and even before that, let's just keep going back and looking at. I guess it was kind of sideways there for a little bit in the 60s. But I mean, it came out of nowhere because I remember owning this at $20, and now it's crazy. And I'm looking at Solana on KuCoin, so it looked like it was before. KuCoin picked it up after, because I remember I owned Solana on Gate, is where I originally owned it on. So we'll look at it on KuCoin, which is why I transferred it to, because I can trade futures there. You can't trade futures on Gate for some reason. They said it has something to do with the laws of the country. And I looked up the laws, and I think there is a restriction on trading futures, but I know people who do it. But they also allow you to trade 10x margin, but that is only for buying. You can't do what futures do. You can't short it and make money. That's the only thing that sucks. That's how I like doing. Finding a good place for it to short it, and know it, especially if you know where it's going to buy. Yeah, short it. Especially, I should probably be shorting it here because I know it's going to make a double top. See, it's going to fall, and I move that away from it like an idiot. here is the action block or bullish order block, either or. Comes down, touches that. See, now whenever it goes down further, it could, I don't think this would happen, but you could have a bullish order block there, and then it turn around and go back up. But I don't see, I mean, it could, and then I think it's going to get here and fall again, though. Just because there's a huge area here, I think it needs to get to. So if we're going to put a fib on this little bad boy right here, I'm going to put it on this guy right here. Go to the top. Why am I putting it there and not at the very bottom? Let me explain. Even though we're on the 5 minute, I don't know, maybe I'll take a look at the 4 hour and maybe I'll change my mind. But after this down move, it was this first move that broke the high. There's no other red candles in between here and here that are red. So once they start green and they break the highs, that's where I like to start the fib from. It generally gives you a better depiction of it as well. Now, 4 hour, it's all going to look like a straight line, to be honest, so I'm not going to be able to put a fib on it anyway. So, if we look at what I put as the median, I don't know where that box went, to be honest. Where'd that box go? Doesn't matter, I'm on the 5. So I'll make another one. No, this is the median's right on top of, oh yeah, it's because I didn't get the wick. Yeah. But without the wick, the median is on top, right on top of this 5 minute fair value gap. Let's put a text. FEG 5M. Along with the median. Yeah, that's what I have a feeling is going to happen. No, wait, why am I doing FEG? That's not, it's not a fair value gap. This is a breaker. Sorry, I'm looking at other things to see if there could be any other kind of situation like that as well. I'm really not finding anything, and especially with smart money, they're gonna try to find something underneath, especially when wherever you draw a Fibonacci, they're gonna want to buy underneath the 62%, no matter what. So that's what they're gonna look for something, because they look for discounts. That's what smart money is all about, looking for discounts. And smart money is what we believe is that smart money is. The price is always seeking liquidity, and it's always seeking balance as well. And one thing I just realized that I have done to myself is I didn't give myself a pretty little outline. There we go. Okay. Now that that's over, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Oh wow, never mind. That liquidity line just didn't hold. Evidently everybody was trying to sell too much. I actually want to check on that to see how many people. Never mind. I probably lost it by now. But if I can go check like the order book on Solana, I bet there were so many sells on that. You know why? Because there's no such thing as buying and selling pressure, right? You can sell and sell and sell and sell. I mean, like, yeah, there's people that do these quick little, pumps or whatever, or something like that, and they'll get together and it'll pump really quickly for a very, very short amount of time, and then it goes right back to normal. Why? Because it'll read that a bunch of money has come into an influx. Why? Because it'll read that a bunch of money has come into an influx. It realizes that, and then it just goes back to normal and says, okay, now we have this money in here. We're going to keep doing, what the algorithm does, because all of these charts are controlled by an algorithm. So liquidity definitely just broke through that. So that is no longer a 100%, I guess you could say, fib. I don't think it'll get to the 150 though. I mean, it might get to the 150, I don't know. But let's take a look at Bitcoin here really quick. Alright. So, a long time ago, I remember, I forgot all the words of that song, but there was a day, actually it wasn't too long ago, where price came up and barely touched the bottom of this area. And let me get it off 15 minutes. Actually, I want to take a look at it. If I look at the daily though, it's gonna look weird, because there's so much writing on here. Let me go 4 hour instead. Or maybe it happened, maybe it was like a 15-minute thing, and it happened right before. Why does it keep moving? Stop. This app, I don't like it. You know what? It may have been down here. And I just haven't accounted for it. No, that's not it. Because here is the daily fair value gap. Alright. And we had a weekly fair value gap as well. Now, the weekly fair value gap is the one it came down to. The bottom of here, around 47. Right, it got halfway up, got to about the 45. Halfway through the fair value gap, pulled back, got down to the bottom of it, and then took off. It's aiming for the top of the weekly, right? But it's also going to get topped at the daily. It has to close in both of those fair value gaps. So we're looking at 54, almost 600, 54, 600 soon. Hopefully soon. Because what I think is going to happen, I think it's going to get about halfway through. Let me get rid of. Jeez, why does this keep doing that? I don't know what I'm measuring from here. But let's measure something new. I don't want the 4 hour. I want. Let's go 15 minute. Let's look at it a little bit closer. Because this thing, it dipped into the fair value gap. Look at that, and it closed it. It closed it almost. You see that? So if I'm telling you guys, you got, especially when it makes a fair value gap, mark those out, because those are going to be important. And a fair value gap is when you have something like this, right? So you have this. It's three candles in concession, and there's a gap with no price, no wicks, no nothing. Look at that. So on this side of it, that's your last wick. On this side of it, that's the wick it made. And so now you have basically a void of, because we don't even know if people were buying during there. All that is repricing, right? That's just Bitcoin repricing. So Now I drew up medians and stuff like that, trying to predict for what it was going to do when it was going sideways. And now since it broke this high, this is the high I want to take a look at. Guess what was the low before the high? It was this guy. So we're going to draw a fib from there. To here. Why? Because we're about to break that high, I think, again. Looks like the high is 52.802. And we're about $10 away from it, so it can happen easily. And that's the weekly, right? That's the weekly fair value gap. I thought the daily overlapped with it somewhere, but maybe not. Let me go back to the daily. Oh, it does. Okay, so the daily goes all the way down here to the bottom. So never mind. I was thinking it could do like halfway through something in between the daily and the weekly. I don't think that's going to happen. Price doesn't work like that in the algorithm. And we're way high up into it for the weekly. Is that a weekly fair value gap? Jeez, that's a huge one. Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. It did fall really quick. Alright. Let's get back to 15 minutes. Yep, this thing came down, boom, touched the bottom of it, came back up. See, at the time, before it did that though, that would have been the fib. Because that ran through that high. Came back, this would have been the high. So when it comes back, hits here. And of course, it's broken the 127 already. Or 127 is what it's liking to hang around. I'm thinking it might get to the 150. I don't know. Now, what's going on with Ethereum? I don't know. I think Ethereum's about to explode. And what I haven't accounted for, like I've been talking about, is using this as the low for the fib. I don't want to use this high spike. I like try to use the bodies as much as I can, because that is the low that it made before it made that move to take out that high. Now I want to do a fair value gap from here to here in the hour. Oh, I just took it away. Draw all the way across, and you can see it came in twice, and then third time is the charm. It just bounced off the third time, and look how many times it's that line has just been, looks like, it looks like it's going to be support or resistance. I mean, I don't think it's going to be resistance though. I really don't. And I think it's going to break 4K. And let's see what we got over on the other side here. Because we're not too much further from the actual high of Ethereum. So like a 4 hour here. Yeah, we're not too high. That spike almost did the trick. The funny thing is that where we're at right now, where I just threw the fib, is if we make 3x that, we break the high. And it's so close to 3x. That just tells me that we're in the right spot. I try to find so many confluences that work together. That there's no denying that, hey, this is probably what's going to happen. And I don't just make up these confluences. I do everything by the book. Like I said, whenever I do my fibs, I use the same rule. It's the last low before it breaks the high. Why is that? See, look at that spike. Why did we get that spike on a 4 hour? But on a 15-minute. Oh, okay, there it is. I was gonna say I didn't think I saw that before. It's crazy. It went 2x, or I guess 1x from the original. So if this is the full